And this week's insight is from yours truly, Keith Blakemore-Noble. So I have 10 minutes. Let's get the show on the road. Let me start by asking you a question. By a show of hands, who feels they could not be manipulated into buying something they didn't want? So who feels they could not be manipulated into buying something they did not want? Cool. Couple of people. Brilliant. Nice one. I've got some bad news for you. You are immediately, you're higher up the list of people who are likely to be manipulated. What's going on? I'll explain more. But just before I do, who the heck am I? Why am I the one to talk about this? So my name's Keith Blakemore-Noble, and for the past 13 years, I've been trained and certified in NLP coaching, hypnosis, right the way up to train the trainer level. And these tools are incredibly powerful, and Alice will be able to attest to just how powerful they are and the great results they can get. However, just like any tool, they can be misused. No tool is good or bad. It's using it that makes it so. Take a hammer, for example. A hammer you can use to build amazing things. You can also use it to smash things up. Hammer isn't good or bad. It's how we use it. And the same with all these tools. And over the 13 years, I've noticed a lot cases where people are taking some of these amazing tools for powerful change and they're misusing them. They're using them in ways to manipulate us. And the more I looked around, the more I realized this happens a lot. They're misusing NLP tools, hypnosis, coaching, psychology, all of these sorts of things. They're taking them and using them against us, manipulating us into buying stuff we don't need, don't want, and can't afford. And I've long thought somebody should expose this. Nobody has, so I gave in. I wrote the book, and I talk and share with people how the manipulation works. So we've got about 8 minutes. Excuse me. Obviously, we can't explore the whole lot, but I'm going to give you a little snippet. We're going to look at live events because that's one that we're all familiar with. Before we dive into that, I'll just explain why those of you who said I couldn't be manipulated into buying something I didn't want, why you're at greater risk. Because you think you can't be manipulated, your defenses are down. You're not looking out for it happening, which means when it does happen, and it's done very, very powerfully and very well. Grudgingly, I have to give them that. They're very good at manipulation. But if you're not on your guard against it, it's so much easier to fall for it. But Keith, I don't buy things I don't want. I only buy things when I want them, which is absolutely true. And that's where the manipulation comes in. The manipulators know they can't make you buy something if you don't want it. What if they manipulate you into wanting what they have and then swoop in with a crazy, too good to be true, very limited special offer? That's one of the big ways it works. And you can see that very much so in live events. We all know about the whole run to the back of the room. I've only got 10 of these at this ridiculous price. It's only £10,000. It's £50 for you, but only for the first 10 people. Run now and get it. We all know about that. We all laugh. You're all laughing and smiling at it. We all laugh and joke about it. Yeah, of course, it's a con. It's rubbish, blah, blah. And yet it works. Why does it work? Well, that part isn't where the manipulation is. The manipulation, that's the culmination of it all. The manipulation has built up over the course of that event, whether it's an hour, a day, a weekend, a week, whatever. You see, what they do is make use of our emotions. When our emotions are high, our logical processing is low. When you're in a highly emotional state, you don't process thought, you don't think rationally and logically, you just go with the emotion. So when they can manipulate our emotions, that's when they can get us to be much more vulnerable to buying stuff. Obviously, they throw in FOMO, fear of missing out. Hey, I've only got 10 of these. So, I better run. I better grab and get it. But sometimes they will have seeded that FOMO about you've got to move quick early on in the event. It's not uncommon for some events, for example, within the first half hour, they go, you know what? We were at a seminar or we were at an exhibition yesterday where we had a stack of books. I don't want to have to cart them all the way back home. We got about 10 books left. We got about 10 copies left. I don't want to have to cart them all the way home. You know what? Run to the back of the room now. The first 10 people will go there to the back of the room. You'll grab a copy for free. On you go now. what have you got to lose? You rush to the back to get it, create a stampede, they go to get it. But the crucial thing is they make sure there are fewer books than there will be people rushing to get it. And they then highlight the fact, oh no, oh Dan, did you miss out? Oh, that sucks, doesn't it? Oh, you must be gutted. You should have been quicker, mate. If you'd been quicker, you'd have got it. You missed out. Oh, doesn't that suck? They may then, so they've already seeded in there, hey, if you don't take action quickly, you're going to lose. Throughout the event, from time to time, they may go back to that. So, hey, Dan, have you got over missing out on that book yet? Or does that still suck? Oh, next time I bet you're going to be quicker, right? Little throwaway comments like that throughout the course of it, seeding in this whole, if I don't move quickly, it's going to suck, I'm going to miss out. Then a great tool that they use is the pit of despair. We're leading up towards where they're about to make the sales pitch, the offer, they have the pit of despair. And this is a really nasty one. They get the audience to imagine how sucky your life is going to be if you don't change. What's the problem you've got? How sucky is life going to be if you don't do anything about it? Picture what your life's going to be like in 10 years' time if you do not do something about this. Worse than that, imagine the effect it's going to have on your family and your loved ones. Imagine how much their life is going to suck, all because you didn't do anything about this. Get you really, really amping up the negative emotion, really, really amping it up. They often say, if you can make them cry during this, you're onto a winner. And that's what their aim, to really get you into that pit of despair. They then throw in a lifeline. What if there was a way where you could avoid that? What if there was a way you could avoid disappointing yourself and your family and letting everyone down? What if there was something you could do that would make it easy to change that, to make your money, to do whatever? Throw you in that little rope. And you're going, oh, you think to just take that opportunity? You'd do anything, right? Wouldn't you? Yeah. They get you going, right, I'll do anything to get out of this pit. And that's when they then start layering in the offer that they have. Well, when you take our course, when you buy our product, when you whatever, you get this, and you go, oh, wow. Of course, if you don't buy it, your family's lives are going to suck. Do you want to let your family down just because you're not going to buy this thing? Really amping up the emotion. You've got the emotion churning away. You're in an emotionally vulnerable spot. They swoop in with the offer and they make it really limited. I've only got 10 of these or whatever. You rush to the back to get it because they've manipulated you into wanting what they're offering, and they're removing the opportunity for you to take the time to think about it, to analyze, do I really need this? Is this going to help me? Is life really going to be that bad if I don't? Can I afford it? You don't have time to think about that. One other thing they will do to really ramp it up, social pressure, social proof. If you see lots of people, if you're going past, you see two restaurants, one is empty, one is full. Which is the one you're more likely to go for? The one that's full, because hey, if everybody's going there, it must be good, right? In these events, often they will say at various points during the event, if you've got a question, if something's not quite making sense, obviously we've got to keep moving forward. Speak to one of my crew, they will be able to answer the question for you. Well, that's cool, that's nice. So you have a question, you go to one of the crew members, they go, yeah, I don't actually know the answer for that, but you know what? I will find out the answer and I'll come and get you a little bit later on and I'll give you the answer. And you think, oh, wow, this is cool. Personal service. Love it. So you go back to your seat. Toward the end, they come up to you and they go, Karis, that question that you had, I've got the answer. Don't want to disturb it. Can you just come up to the back with me and I'll go over the answer with you. Brilliant. So you go up to the back. They go over the answers, whatever. Really cool. If you were to look around, you would notice that strangely, several of the other crew have done exactly the same. Just so happens that's the point in the event where they suddenly got the answers and they bring you all up to the back. Moments later, the speaker on the stage, run to the back of the room, grab the offer. Look, there's already 20 people there and we've only got 15 spaces. You better run. You better run. Don't know if they're buying or not, but you better run before they get it or you'll miss out. Lots of ways in which they feed into this manipulation. They manipulate us into wanting something and then they really amp up the fear that we're going to miss out on it. as one of the many types of ways in which the unscrupulous seek to manipulate us into buying this stuff. Hopefully, it's giving you a little bit of an insight. Hopefully, you can start to spot these flags as they happen so that you can go, you know what? Let me think about this for a bit. Do I really need this? So that when you do buy, you buy because you want to, not because they want you to. Thank you very much. Any quick questions? We've got time for one quick question if anyone has it. Or are we all going, oh, blimey, I can see where that's happened before. Yeah, go for it, Peter.
Did you actually do that trick live of saying there's free books at the back of the room and getting people to run? Because that sounds like it'd be a good idea.
Yeah. It's not something I've done, but I have seen it done at various events, sometimes with books, sometimes with product. But yeah, I have seen it done a few times. And you can then see how they layer it up and build it on from there. Because they're seeding in that hole. If you don't run now, you're going to miss out. So that when the big offer comes, shoot, better run. Alice.
Obviously it's all based in psychology, isn't it? But it sounds like classic door-to-door salesman stuff, or anybody that's kind of going into a sales job. Is there some sort of Bible of how to be a really successful salesman with all of this sort of stuff in it as well? Because obviously it's all based in manipulation, isn't it? If you want to be a good salesman.
Well, yes and no. The bit I'm saying no about is you don't have to be manipulative to be a good salesman. In fact, I would say the really good salesmen are the ones who are not manipulative. The really good salespeople are the ones who recognize when somebody does have a genuine need for what they have, and they have something which would genuinely suit the person. That's what makes a good salesman. A bad salesman are the ones who use the manipulation, trying to just force you manipulate you into buying their stuff. And yet there are loads of trainings and all sorts out there teaching salespeople how to abuse these tools, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, that was yes, I agree. If selling something, because I have done sales in the past, selling something that you believe in and that you're passionate about and that you know people want is easy, and that's the way it should work. But yeah, I was thinking about those more unscrupulous ones that you hear about all the time, that we all clearly need to be wary of, especially if we've got our guards down.
Exactly. Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, Dan.
I was just going to say, really interesting presentation. I enjoyed that, and been to quite a few events before where you come across a lot of stuff like that. I used to actually go to, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of like the Rich Dad seminar, where it's like based on property investing, but I used to go. I started going just to see, really fascinating, like how they actually employ a lot of these techniques, and like watching people almost like falling for it. But they're very clever in how they sort of sell, if you like, and get their message across. And there's a lot of unscrupulous people out there, particularly when it comes to like selling courses and programs. Buy my course, and then it's like my proper bugbear with social media. These gurus that tell you on a course to then go on another course and another course, yes. And there's always an upsell. Yeah. So I think it's really good, the presentation, and I'm going to buy the book. Look forward to reading it. So thank you.
Thank you.